The surfman along the shore. It's not the same without you no more. Soon the surfers will catch the wave. Is this a tropical Hawaiian day? Hey! And it's breakfast with Bob.
And Poncho Man. Woo! We are presented by ES Sports Nutrition, Cliff Bar, Timex, Roca, Tanya Porter Resort, Rudy Project, and Slow Twitch. Two-time Olympian who has first 3 times here in Kona, fifth, 7th, 2nd. Back in 2006, 2007, 2008. Now a dad, Mr. Eneko Llanos. Eneko, talk a little bit about first time you come here. You had some success.
Yes, I raced here for first time in 2006.
Yes.
That was my second year racing Ironman distance triathlon after my 2 Olympic Games
Yes.
cycles. So yeah, it was awesome to come here for the first time and be riding with these big names
The
in
legends, yeah.
in the wall of Ironman. And yeah, you told me before that was like easy and
Yeah, like the first time
well,
out.
I didn't feel really well, obviously it was difficult and tough, but yeah, when you come here for the first time and get that good result, you think, well, maybe no, I think I can do well here. And
Yes.
again, and then I did well for a couple of
Yes.
years after that, and then I have some other good races, but it's never easy here. And if you see my last races here weren't very good, so I think this race is goes from easy to more difficult the more times you
The more
come
do it.
here.
Well, this is your 10th time. Your 10th time racing here. Do you feel that the second place best race ever here in terms of the way you felt?
Yeah, probably was my first race, my best race, my best feelings here. Yeah, I remember. Well, it was some time ago, but I remember I still got that feeling of that day, feeling strong, and I remember finishing the bike very strong and having a good solid run. So yeah, it's the day I think I performed the best here.
So when you look at this season, you won Lanzarote just a couple weeks ago, and what's good about that, the 70.3, is it's hot, it's windy. That bike course is brutal, right? And the run course, it's not an easy race at all. That has to give some confidence coming in here.
Yes, I think that I've been training before the race in Lanzarote. I was there for 2 weeks. I think it's a great place to get ready for this racing.
Yes.
This race in Kona. It's not as hot and it's not as humid as here, but September can be pretty hot there, and I think it's a good first step before coming to the island to spend some time there training. The wind is also a windy island, so you get used to the wind, and you start doing your acclimatization for the heat, and then you have this 70.3 race just 3 weeks before the race here in Kona.
Yes.
So I think it's a good preparation to go there, race in this 70.3 race, and then come here to Kona for the last 3 weeks.
Talk a little bit about the first ever Olympic triathlon, 2000 in Sydney. You were there. You got to participate in the first ever Olympic triathlon. What was that like?
Oh, it was really special. I remember being in the starting line, waiting to get into the pontoon for the start, and it was really emotional. In that moment, I really had to control my emotions, and because it was an historic moment for triathlon, and we were like, I think it was 50 of us, 50 triathletes.
50 guys, yeah.
50 guys were going to be the first Olympic triathletes, and the triathlon was the Olympic sport for the first time in that right moment. So, and all the world was watching. So
the whole world was watching.
Yeah, it was a really special moment and very, very emotive. Then I have to change and focus on the race, because otherwise it could be very, very emotive. Yeah.
I remember McKeely Jones, who took the silver that day, telling me that she'd been racing a lot, had never been in crowds that loud in her life. You couldn't even hear yourself think.
The crowds were amazing. Being the racing in Australia, where triathlon is such a big sport, and And
first event of the games,
first,
right?
Yeah,
Women were first, then you guys
women
were second.
First. That's right. And many the Australian team was one of the
They were
big
the favorites.
So
yes.
yeah, the crowds were amazing. Were cheering all day, and even on the bike, there were times that you couldn't hear anything except for the crowds cheering so loud. It was amazing. Yeah.
Really special. Talk a little bit about the change in the sport. When you look at Spain, you were one of the early guys who did really, really well. Now Javier Gomez, Mario Mola, Ivan Rania. You've got so many great Spanish athletes. You to a certain degree, have led the charge. How does that feel, knowing that your country is doing so well in the sport?
Yeah, it's been a big improvement. First, when we were coming to our first World Cup, ITU World Cup races in the early 90s, late 90s, we were there just, we were really competing for the first for the podium or for the wins, but we were learning, and I think that all the things we learned from these other countries and these other more experienced athletes, like from Australia, US, Germany, I think that some of those things that we learned on those times helped the guys behind us to be more prepared, or be more ready for the triathlon, for what triathlon it is, for all the training and the racing. So yeah, I think in some way we started, not only me, all the guys who were racing in that time for Spain, but yeah, I think we were guiding these other guys. They came behind us.
How hard was the transition for you from the draft legal to all of a sudden you're going Ironman? Because at that time there weren't a lot of 70.3 races. You basically had to go, okay, I'm an Olympian at an event that takes under 2 hours. Now I'm going to go try to win an event that's 8 hours, 4 times as long.
Yes, I don't know if I was lucky or not, but 2003, I was thinking all about the Olympics in Athens, 2004, but they had this, they had the ITU long distance world championships in Ibiza. Mm-hmm. At the beginning of the year, so I thought, well, I'm gonna give it a try. See, I like the long distance. I think this is what I want to do after Athens 2004. Yeah. So in 2003, I raced in Ibiza, and I did really well. I won. That was my longest triathlon racing ever. So because I was doing Olympic distance triathlons, and I remember finishing very. I finished empty. I mean, I bumped in the last kilometers, and the guy who was second almost caught me at the end. But I won that race, and then that's when I thought, okay, yeah, maybe I could be good in long distance triathlon. And right after Athens 2004 and 2005, I focused all my training on Ironman distance racing. And it wasn't a good it wasn't an easy transition. I had first races DNFs 3 times, injuries because of the lack of adaptation, I guess, to the training. Till the end of 2005, that's when I finished my first Ironman. That was in Western Australia, and I finished in second place. So yeah, it took me some time to figure it out. Some time to figure it out and to adapt to the Ironman distance. Now,
I think you took third behind your brother, right? At Ironman, was that
Austria? 2006.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Now, how long did Hector stay in the sport?
Hector raced till a couple of years ago. Yeah. And he was also racing professional. He came here to race many times. We raced a lot of times together, and he's still racing, but just more for fun and local races. But
did you beat him more than he beat you, or did he?
Well, obviously I was the young one, so in the beginning he was always beating me till one day I beat him for the first time, and then 50-50, I think.
50-50.
And we also share a lot of wins. Yeah, we raced a lot together, and many times we crossed the finish lines, both of us.
Love it.
Together. Yeah.
So, I don't think we've had a Spaniard win the Ironman World Championship. So, what would it mean to you to win here?
Well, I don't know. It would be something fantastic. Sincerely, I think that a win here right now is really difficult, and and now it's something I can dream, but really difficult to make it true or make it real. It would be. Yeah, obviously my biggest win in my triathlon career, and I don't know.
In a great career.
What can you say about win Ironman in Hawaii? I think it's the thing that we all want to do, and
it's what keeps bringing you back.
Dream to do. Yeah, to be honest, right now is more than the win. Is the feeling that I have with this race here right now is I didn't have a good races in the past few years.
Yep.
So I think that I still have a good race here in Kona. Maybe not for the win, but I want to cross that finish line, feel satisfied and feel happy with my performance and feeling that I've done my best in the race.
When I look at 2013, you won Melbourne, you won sub-8, and won Ironman Frankfurt, then 11th here in Kona. So it's still there. I mean, you're probably as fit now as you were 2 years ago. Yeah. I'm imagining. Mm-hmm. So what are your goals here? Would you be happy with top 5?
I would be very happy with top 5.
Yeah.
I was thinking more in a top 10. I don't know.
Top 10 would be great.
But it's so hard. You see the start list and it's amazing.
How has the sport changed? You've got a Jan Frodeno and Sebastian Kienle.
It's a very deep field, and you name those two big names, big favorites, I think. But there are maybe 20 or 30 guys capable of being in the podium if they have they do things right and they have a good day.
Well, I look at
amazingly top field, and it's want to be a very, very intense race.
I look at last year, and Sebastian won by 5 minutes, but between 2nd and 8th, it was about 4.5 minutes separating. Mm-hmm. So the competition is really tight, right? It's there's not minutes and minutes separating people anymore, and you can go from 2nd place to 10th place in the blink of an eye, which means that someone with history and someone with experience like yourself can move your way up through the field towards the end of that run.
Yeah, that's true here. If you keep your mind in the race and you keep going.
Yes.
Because this is a race where I think many people goes above his capabilities.
Yes.
Especially in the beginning of the bike, and many people pays for that later on the race.
Yeah.
So that's why we see it happened to me in the past. Well, that's why we see all these big names, DNF or walk the marathon.
Yes.
Because you go. The pace is so high that you do a little mistake and you're done. So it's important here to keep going and to stay in the race even if you're feeling like crap. But
even if you feel like crap, I love it.
But you have to keep it running and to keep going in the race.
How fun has it been being a dad?
It's been it's been the most amazing thing in my life, and I think in my wife's life, because it changed the perspective of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, till we have our kid, everything was about triathlon racing, and now you see that you have a bigger motivation in life, and you see it every day, and you see him growing, and it's it's great. I mean, it's the best thing happened to us.
Love it. Eneko, thanks so much for taking time. Always a pleasure. Have a great race on Saturday.
Thank you.
How about a round of applause for Eneko Llanos?
Thank you.
Again, we're presented by ES Sports Nutrition, Cliff Bar, Timex, Roca, Tanya Puerto Resort, Rudy Project, and Slow Twitch. Poncho Man, take us out.
Mountains roll down to the sea, and how I wish you were here with me. The waves are breaking along the bay. It's this tropical Hawaiian day. Hey, and breakfast with Bob. Aloha Wednesday morning.
Poncho Man! You!